Hello friends, welcome to the channel Happy Learning. In the series of Learn SQL, we will learn about the SQL injection today. SQL injection. We'll get to know what are different types of SQL injection. We'll discuss about a few real life example, and we'll discuss about its prevention ways, how we can prevent our data to being injected by attackers or the SQL injectors. This topic is really very important and critical topic if we are talking about SQL because it is directly related with your data which is saved somewhere at the servers or in some databases. So in the terms, if I talk about the interview, if I talk about examination, if you are going to appear or any kind of certification exam, there is a probability of around 99.99% of the cases when this question is being asked by the examiner or the interviewer. So without wasting a moment, let's get started. So what the SQL injection is? It is a kind of attack that make it possible to attack malicious SQL statement. To execute SQL statement means the user or the attacker use some kind of SQL statement to view your unauthorized data where he is not able to or authorized person to view that information. The statement control a database server behind a web application. For example, this database could be MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, or any Mongo database or any database which your application is using to save your information. What the attackers do, they can secretly inject vulnerability and bypass all the security measure related with your application. SQL injection is the web security vulnerability. It allows the attacker to interfere with the queries for the application which is using a database. It allows hacker to view that kind of information which is not normally viewable to everybody. What they do, they just go around with the authentication and authorization process of the web pages of your web application, and they retrieve and view some kind of sensitive information by using the SQL queries to your SQL database. They can use SQL injection with the purpose to add, modify, delete, or just kind of updation, or just they can destroy your data. This could be their purpose of doing this kind of injection into your database. It generally allows attacker to view all the information they are not allowed to see, and if the attacker is the criminal minded, then they can get the access to your most sensitive data. If we are talking about the bank information, if we are talking about some kind of security information or your trading secret or some kind of your property which you don't want to discuss or share with public. Then what is the impact of successful SQL attack? What is the impact? They can threat on your security. They can take your credit card detail, your banking account password. They can get access of your personal information and they can leak it out, or they can use it. They can transfer your fund from one account to another account, and they could breach any kind of security which you don't want to. And if you might have seen about a few banks example or bank kind of security threat you might have heard about. So what they have just an interface, like if you can see username and password screen, they have this interface and they just put some kind of input into these text boxes, and then after they try to get some information by using some kind of tricks or some kind of random inputs or some kind of logical and planned input to get your data. Then what are different types and examples of SQL injection? They can retrieve hidden data which you don't want to open with anyone. They can modify application logic so that they can make it trash. Let's take an example of Facebook application or the YouTube or any popular information site or any normal social networking site. They can try to trash their logic. They can do some kind of union attack. They can examine the database, what kind of information you are having. Like suppose if you are having some authorized and like highly highly famous, any political leader or any celebrity information, then they try to steal that information and want to take advantage of it. And some other way they can do some blind injection. This is the most common term and type. We'll discuss about all this one by one in detail. So first is the retrieve hidden data. How they can retrieve the hidden data? Just see this first statement. This is the one which statement is being used to retrieve any information from the employee table. Select star from employee where role is admin and is active is 1, means we are trying to retrieve information of the employee table who all are admin and are active, means they are not inactive stage, they are admin users and they are available in employee table. Now what the hacker want to do, what the hacker can do to get this statement fail? They can do select star from employee where role admin, then they can use this hyphen, two-time hyphen, make a SQL statement comment. They can comment the rest all statements by putting just two minus sign, means two hyphen just after the admin, and they just comment all this statement after this admin. So what the statement will be remain? Select star from employee where role is admin. So all the filter will get commented, means it will not execute. Or they can do some another trick. Select star from employee where role is admin or role or 1 equal to 1. 1 equal to 1 means which is always true. Here or is two time typed, so we can avoid 1. Select star from employee where role is admin or 1 equal to 1, means the hacker doesn't know what kind of role it could have and it is just passing a statement or 1 equal to 1, which is always true. Means or statement is a conditional statement which works if either of the statement is true, means it will uh, send you all the information of the employee table irrespective of the role filter, irrespective of the any other filter, because for rest all statement they have just put comment minus minus sign or hyphen sign. So this is the kind of threat which they are trying to put into your SQL by using SQL query to retrieve your hidden data. Means they just want to see who all are employees into your company, into your database. So here is another example. If you see the left screen, the screen is off. The query will tell you ID, name and price of the product table. And the product is you are going to pass it. This is what the developer do kind of mistake. The biggest mistake a developer do, they just pass the parameter directly into the query. And in the query at the end, they just execute it. What it will do, whatever the value being passed into this parameter name, product name, it will just directly get passed into this query. So there are two example product name. If I pass shirt or 1 equal to 1 or shirt or blank equal to blank, these both statements are true, and if we'll get inject or append with this query select query, it will retrieve all the information of the product table like ID, name and price. Let's take, just at the back of your mind, just think if you are into an army officer or army module, and you don't want to discuss about what kind of different missiles or different tanks or anything else aircraft you have, but how they could steal the information. They'll get everything, ID, name, password and everything in whatever data you would have in your product table by just keeping and injecting a simple or statement with the parameter name or 1 equal to 1. Although armies, government officer sites, official sites, everything is quite secured, nowadays, but still from the learning prospect I'm giving you example. Just think how highly critical data can be threatened by these attackers or injectors by just putting these kind of statement into your SQL. And if you see at the right side, select star from user where username John and password is white horse. And what the attacker will do? Attacker just comment the rest of the part before and by just putting two hyphen after giving the name of the John into the text boxes. So what the query will left behind, select the star from user where username is John. All the information related with the John people will retrieve from this statement. Then the union attack. Union attack, if you see at the right screen first, select A, select B, and the union result will be this combination. Select A, the first statement will give you 3 record. Select B, second statement will give you 3 record, but the union, the common will be eliminated, will not be repeat. The union will give 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 number record. So now come to the left side. Select name description from product where category is gift. Then they put union. Select username password from user table. See, they are just doing kind of blind guesses. What an organization could have, they can have employee, they can have user, they can have any like related information. They are just putting the guesses, and probably among the 100 guess one could work for them. So this is kind of the union attack. This is example of union attack. Examining the database, if you are getting, if they are able to get into the information of your database, then they can retrieve all the information. Select star from information schema table means from all the your entire database table they can see how, what are the different name of your table, what are kind of information they can receive from this. So this is kind of database attack. Then the blind vulnerability, this is very important and generally attackers try to do it. This means that the application does not return any kind of result or the data, means this is not kind of select statement. They just try to destroy the logic. They just try to delay the request response time, like you have sent kind of like button click and the response is delayed from the server. In the meantime, they just try to find out the information of your servers and everything related with that. Then they try to trigger out of band network interaction, means they can do some kind of different they can threat from different domain names and try to find out any information related with your domains. These are kind of the blind vulnerabilities. How to detect? There are two ways we can detect it. One is the automatic automation. Automation means SQL injection vulnerability can found quickly using the burp suite web vulnerability scanner. We can scan it, we can find it, but manually also we can do it. How we can do it manually? By submitting single code character looking for the other errors, means at the time of testing and development, when you are doing some kind of development related with your application which contains some sensitive information, then these checks needs to be done manually. Everything cannot be done by using automation, but you have to do some manual checks also. Submitting some SQL specific characters or syntax which could have some kind of different results and responses on based on the conditions, or you can have some boolean conditions like 1 equal to 1, 1 equal to 2, which give different result. You need to track what kind of different result you are receiving after putting some information into it. Then different part of queries, different, they can target using the where clause and the select query. If they are using some update statement with where clause, they can find it out, they can insert some statement, they can select some statement, they can do some order by clauses into it. See, this is here at the right side, there is very good example of vulnerability where just a user try to log in into an account and try to find out and update the profile of the user. What they do, they just get registered into an application with their username and password, and then they try to make some hacking technique using updation command. They just try to update the passwords for the administrator, and then they try to log in into using administrator and putting some garbage password. How to prevent SQL injection? If the world is facing this problem globally, then how we can prevent it? We can prevent our data in SQL using parameterized queries. Means you need not to pass everything as it is from text boxes to your database query. You can use the parameters instead of putting direct whatever is coming into your input boxes. You can filter the data and pass it into a parameter, and that parameter can go into your select statement or your SQL statement. Then this is the first best way to prevent your SQL from SQL injection. And another way is using encryption of the data. Instead of direct save data into your readable format and a user understandable format, what you can do, you can directly encrypt the data before saving, and then you can encrypt and save data to your tables. Means whatever data you are trying to save into your database, it will not be available in direct readable and understandable format. You will just encrypt all the information, and at the time of retrieval of the information, you can decrypt this information to user understandable language. You can do it with your URL, you can do it with username, password, and any sensitive information which is related with your users. Means directly data will not be saved, it will save in term of some pattern, some 0 1 or some kind of series, any kind of algorithm you can create to save your data, to save or retrieve information. This is another highly secure way of saving information, which probably prevent user to read data from your database. That's it for today. Thank you. Keep learning, keep moving forward. If you like our information and content, then kindly subscribe our channel so that we get motivated to create new videos and to give information in more understandable format. Thank you. Have a nice day.